just want to get some off my chest. I won't be in here too long, but I just want to get some off my chest. Um, this is the inner child. This is bread and butter frequency talk, inner child realization. Um, it's about me realizing certain things as a grown man, and I have a few videos I want to let y'all hear because I feel like this is one of the biggest things that people got to understand, and it been like a whole bunch of um, things that I've been seeing in recent time, and in this world, and most recently, um, one of the things when you young, you find things to inspire you to create or to keep you inspired to go harder in life. But you don't think those things are things that are wicked because they present it in a way of positivity, or they're put it in a way of it's so easy to digest that you think it's innocent. But it's like as you get older, you realize it was all just a game. It was all something to get you trapped to not understand the power within yourself. And I've been through a lot of my life, so me coming through this realization, it was a lot of phases that I had to go through, and I felt like I had to really tap in to really come to this conclusion because it kind of hurt my inner child finding out, fully finding out these couple of days, you know, when it comes to certain things that I was inspired by as a young boy. But as a man, you come to a point where you be like, damn, it's crazy, and you kind of separate yourself, you kind of cut things off, from that. And it's very sad, and because people don't see what's going on, they don't see what's going on. And my thing is, with this Michael Jackson movie and this Michael Jackson energy is rehashing this energy and frequency and stuff like that. It got me thinking about, my inner child, seeing those things and being almost to a point of becoming that thing because you see it as innocent, you see it as positive, you see it as something, to inspire you, which is cool. But sometimes 98% of the people, they become the thing that they're inspired by, but not actually tapping in to themselves to to become their own greatness. They just see that and think that's greatness because of fame, clout, money, and you don't know what they did behind closed doors. You know what I'm saying? You put your emotion, you put your faith into that. You know what I'm saying? And you losing yourself every time. That's why celebrities even a thing. It's a distraction. And I just feel like people just don't get it. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not trying to force no ideal or no perspective on nobody, but at the same time, it's like, damn, you don't want to be powerful within yourself. You see something else, and you just look down on yourself, your greatness. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I didn't fuck with the Michael Jackson movie, and I kind of cut myself off from his music, period, because I had to learn that um, even those things in the industry, they did things to make people worship them and give their energy harvesting. And I knew this. I knew this was gonna happen. I knew that's gonna drop this movie. Everybody can go crazy, getting all that energy, but the movie is being made by the same people who allegedly killed his character off, where he can I guess go to whatever place that he need to go to after they killed that character off. You know what I'm saying? And it kind of upset me because I just see everybody just lose themselves and not seeing the bigger picture, bro. And I know everybody on the same frequency, but at the same time, it's like, damn, y'all don't see what's going on. Y'all see the surface. Oh, it's good performance. It's good music, but y'all don't see the frequency behind it though. The frequency is not good. It's not good energy. And they know that y'all not gonna see that shit on a deeper scale. It's gonna be more of a surface. So they getting all that energy, and you wonder why you not great because you see. Oh, and I seen a post. Somebody was like, man, Michael dropped Thriller Bad and Off the Wall at 20. What my life gotta go? What I'm doing in my life, man? Why is you comparing yourself to somebody who was in the industry since 5 years old? You don't know what they went through in life, as far as like spell work, all the wicked shit they probably had to do to keep that fame. Y'all don't. They just don't know that. I just feel like they just don't know that. They just thinking, oh, he did that at 20 years old, and I'm 30, 33, 34. I can't do that. No, it's not about that. Your greatness is your greatness. Maybe Mike wanted a life like yours, where he don't have to worry about fame or somebody coming after him or something like that. Or he had to do wicked shit, like sell his ass or something like that. You know what I'm saying? At the same time, people was not seeing that. You know, and I'm not. I was one of the biggest MJ supporters, bro, fan supporters. I was debate with people every day about this man. You know what I'm saying? About him and Prince, and he was the greatest of all time. You know what I'm saying? I always debate with people about this man, to a point it got to an argument where I started, lashing out against my family members about this man, not even knowing, this guy was doing some shit behind closed door that we don't even know about. But at the same time, it's like you putting yourself down for somebody who you don't even know, or you doing things like you worshiping them, and you just losing yourself, bro. Like, that's how I see it. You know what I'm saying? But I got this video of this guy talking. He gonna talk about, the biopic, or the whatever, the movie they had came out with about Michael. And the reason why this ties into the inner child realization, because Mike was one of my biggest inspirations in my life. It made me, tap into music as well. So I'm not conflicted still, but at the same time, my inner child still trying to heal from that shit, because the way they presented this man, almost like they presented Jesus, to people. And it's like, man, he could not do no wrong in nobody's eyes. To this day, they don't even believe that he did the charges that was on him. You know what I'm saying? But we don't know what went on. That could have been a whole MK Ultra type shit that went on, and he don't even know he probably did some shit, but they got some tapes on him or some shit. Like, you just don't know what's behind closed doors. And it's like everybody just putting their energy and faith into something that's the energy is already being rehashed. Like, it's crazy. But I got this video. I'm gonna let dude talk, and yeah, that's what it is today.
At the beginning of my video with the videos that you ended up seeing, the biopic of Michael was inaccurate because they never talked about the genetic engineering or the steps that Joseph took into trafficking essentially her children into the entertainment industry. And I know many people will disagree with this opinion, and that's okay. That's fine with me. I really will never care about that. The thing is, you never were meant to attach yourself to stage actors. And Michael herself even admitted to being or wanting to be the best entertainer, the best actor of all time. And she worked with affirmations, channeling, dark magic, light magic, and hoodoo, voodoo, Wicca, blood rituals, alchemy. So all these different practices, sorcery, these spiritual works of the occult are hidden bodies of advanced sciences that teach people to agree with genetic inversion. And life itself is genetically engineered. So basically, these trees behind me are flowers. Not only are they flowers, they're male flowers. They're not woman or feminine flowers. I'm saying that because, too, these are not trees. Because trees to me are what you would see as cell phone towers or skyscrapers or the trees in Avatar, for example. That to me is what a tree would mimic. Not only just that, we are not even human because to be human is to be wise of what you still can never fathom. We were giant in our nature, but what happened? How did we descend in consciousness? By constantly casting spells of ritualistic initiations into Luciferianism. So the Korribans, by the Phrygians or these ancient Greek mimics, these ancient Greek, I would say, initiators of duality, were infatuated and they were idolizing the Korribans. The Korribans are technically what Michael Jackson was and still is. That's why if you watch the biopic movie, it says his story continues.
Basically,
They're
basically, he breaking down. He trying to break down the biopic in certain sections where it where it talked about certain things and hitting sight, hurt certain things and hitting sight as far as like um all the ideas he came up with, and the energy and how it flows through creativity and things like that. But he gonna break it down more deeper than what I just said. But at the same time, it goes back to what I was saying. Like, people are worshiping this guy, and they doing things, losing themselves, becoming him, bro. Like, I seen so many impersonations of this man. It's crazy. It's kind of, it's weird out to me. I just don't get it. It's like it's a certain amount of people that have their image based off this man. They living through this man, and he's so called unalive or dead. You know what I'm saying? And that's weird. I don't see that much Elvis impersonations as I do MJ impersonations. It's like whatever his energy was, whatever he did behind closed doors, it still got people in the chokehold to where they don't think they're great, and they try to play it off by saying, "I was just in emotions." Nah, that energy, that thought came to you because you seen something that made you feel good, but at the same time didn't make you feel the power from within. You know what I'm saying? And I always push that. I always try to push power from within somebody, man, because that's the most powerful way you can be. The power from within yourself, to know that you can do anything maybe greater than whatever somebody else just did. And I feel like, the energy and the aura of Michael Jackson was a gift and a curse to people. But I glad that I woke up, as far as like from that age to now as a grown man, I really see this shit. That's why it's inner child realizations, and I had to attack this in a way where I'm not, shaming my inner child for understanding the energy or wanting to attach to that energy because it seems so pure and positive. But at the same time, as a grown man, I must attack this in a way as a grown man to check my inner child and to understand why this had to be, for my evolving evolution as a person.
They're basically manipulating you into, for one, genetic inversion, and two, genetic manipulation internally. Basically telling you that what you see is a man in the mirror, but yet the flamboyancy, the loose ways of the being's biology is what's so fucked up about her nature. That's why the
And then to
allegation.
think about it, I've been seeing some spiritual people. They talking about Mike like as almost he is Jesus, talking about he was doing this and that. He was the chosen one. He was very intactful. If he knew all that about the energy, he could at least turn it in a way where it didn't make people worship him in a way of losing themselves. It's a way you can do it. It's a way you can transfer that energy to make somebody feel powerful within themselves. I don't think nobody see it like that. Because when they see Michael Jackson, when they hear his music, they'll dance and stuff like that, but they think that's only greatness, and that's the part that gets me. They think that's greatness. Any celebrity that this, I feel like it's Beyonce, Mike. Um, those are two main ones. I feel like people just put their energy into that they don't feel as great as them. But those are celebrities. They did shit behind the closed doors that whatever energy and wicked shit they did, that's why y'all feeling like that. you know. And I'm just glad that I am able to uh, be aware of this energy and how I can transfer it back to me. You know what I'm saying? And I just want people to do the same shit. Like I ain't trying to force somebody to see my perspective, but it just crazy. But Buddy breaking it down a deeper way where you can see what it is with the biopic and shit.
Allegations of her preying on kids and the FBI claiming that it's not evident and whatnot. That's the cover up. That's the whole entire point of getting people to believe false narratives, misinformation, if you will. Stage fans, stage actors. So, as I'm saying, stage actors, Joseph knew. And the thing is, too, I documented 60 key points on the video. I'm not going to go through all of them because there's no point. But my thing is, too, I mean, there is a point, but why would you care? So, as soon as you see it, Smoke and Mirrors, 1956, Gary and Anna. When I seen that shit, I said, oh, off the muscle. Y'all are basically telling us the first stage into Freemasonry. And many of you who go against me, I don't mind. I promise you. I appreciate you. because that's your positioning in life, to go against and to neglect what I'm telling you, because you practice cognitive dissonance. So, and you practice ego identity as well, or ego protection. I realized that in the beginning, when they showed the smoke and the mirror, who's the man in the mirror, Joseph already had the Jackson 5 ideology planted into her bloodstream. Mind you, they're all a family of actors. Actors because they knew that Michael was going.
And it's crazy, bro, because you'll think, oh, they real, they, you know what I'm saying, they got a lifestyle like me, similar lifestyle like me. But it's like, man, these are characters on the main stage. When they, it's like when you see them on TV, when they got that fame, bro, when they deep into that fame, and then people start calling them the greatest this, the greatest that, or they getting compared to certain people, they did shit that we can't even think of, man. To really get that energy or to get that notoriety, man. Like it's sad, and it's characters, like he said, like it's crazy, man. Entertainment, sports, you know what I'm saying? It's like for me, I can't jam, I can't listen to his music no more. I can't do anything that evolves that energy because I once I see through the the image and the lenses of this shit, I gotta cut everything off. So that's what happened. And I know a lot of people are still stuck, on Mike, and they still loving him and shit like that. Which is understandable because they haven't had that awakening to see what the fuck everybody else on a different frequency see. When it comes to him, man. And it's still sad because in my inner child, it's still sad because y'all gotta realize, you know, um, one of my first songs I heard as a baby was Mike, Tony, Curtis Mayfield, songs that meant something, and that kind of built me into the artist today. But at the same time, you gotta check that inner child and be like, damn, like, one of the so-called greatest of all time wasn't even a real thing, you know. And people tell me, oh, you don't know what happened in this street. Man, I'm tell you, like, bro, all this fame, you think this fame just come out of nowhere because of hard work and dedication? Yeah, he probably danced and, he did a little bit of hard work. But that's with anybody. Look, any regular person. Look at me. I'm dropping 15 albums in less than 4 years. That's hard work. But I didn't do nothing to sell my soul. You know what I'm saying? Like, so that's what I'm saying. You can do hard work, but it still won't match up to the clout and fame that the industry got to give to you to be compared to be a character. This shit deep, man.
Was going to be the one. That's why they planted a character for you to worship. When the being ended up coming to life, mind you, incubator babies, Cabbage Patch Kids, these advanced minds of ancient consciousness, Egyptian or ancient Kemet consciousness, study the Egyptian schools of mysteries or mysticism. What did Michael Jackson say? Wanted to be majestic, wanted to be mystical, wanted to be a mystery. So by her admitting this shit, her whole entire life was once again smoke and mirrors. As a child, when you are born, in order for your mom and your dad to have their burdens lifted, you had to be that sacrifice. And you don't have, once again, contradict everything, question everything. I'm telling you this because I went to go see it 2 days ago. Did
So
my
basically, he about to break down when he's seeing a Michael Jackson movie. He gonna break down certain deeper aspects of the movie. But um, I forgot what I'm about to say, man, because I had to say that part. But it's so much information flowing through me right now. But this what he talking about. He gonna break it down. He gonna talk about the movie, and it's crazy, bro.
did my research further a year ago. Already made a video on this stuff, talking about how it happened, how her and Michael Jordan had interconnected ties. Not only just that, Stevie Wonder is Michael Jackson or the Jackson family's cousin. So Joseph already had ties to.
Facts. That's truth, and that's another thing. All these celebrities are connected to each other. You think that's a coincidence? Ain't gonna be no regular random person like me getting in the industry like that. Come on, man. We can't play this game no more with these celebrities and entertainment. We can't. People are saying, "Oh, Mike was the only innocent one out of all the celebrities." Man, come on, man. That was a character. People talking about, man, they treated Michael like Jesus. Like what? What makes you think if Jesus was able to come back, what made you think he'll be a famous pop star? Somebody who get all the notoriety and fame. What made you think he'll be that? This man be a regular person and nobody even know, or probably somebody who just get one view on YouTube speaking truth. That's who he'd be. He won't be no famous pop star after so called dying and coming back. Like, come on, man, make it make sense at the same time. But I'm not religious or nothing at all. But I'm saying like I'm using that as an example. You know what I'm saying? People not reading the room with this. They're not reading the lines with this shit. That's why I made that song. Cause I'm tired of people just acting like they don't see it, but they want to, do things because it corresponds with the masses. Cause they want to get, I guess, views or clout and shit like that. Man, no, bro, speak your truth. For God who fuck with it. That's how I be. And for me to actually tap in with this and understand the frequency of what the fuck going on, it's crazy because I kept seeing on my timeline this Michael Jackson movie biopic and shit like that. So I'm like, damn, like why is this shit right here is crazy. You know? It's crazy. And people just want to give this man a pass because he did good music and shit like that, which is cool. He had good music, but the frequency behind the music didn't sit well with my energy as I got older and I understand that I'm great too as well. Not to compare myself to Michael, I'm just saying like on a bigger scale, like it's an internal fight that we fighting as people. And they using these celebrities as distractions to not make you feel as great. That's why money, all that is entwined. Money, fame, and clout is entwined. I hope everybody understand this shit because at the end of the day, you just got yourself. You can't be looking at certain people outside yourself, man. Shit crazy.
To the industry. So it's like Young Dolph being related to Juice World. How? How? Or when that girl, when she had a project of all presidents being connected, how? That lets you know that the things that you are seeing are being conditioned in your mind to manipulate your emotions. So
Facts.
emotionally, you are being sedated to being in a infinite cycle of conditioning loops.
Yup.
Loops basically telling you that the abuse that you go through, you translate that to Michael Jackson
Yup.
because you want to go through escapism through pain that's being trafficked within music.
Facts. Man, that's why you have Rod Wave, all these surface level trap music, whatever, trap R&B, whatever, they are being pushed to the masses. Anything that make trauma seem like a vulnerable thing to escape away from, but at the same time, it's not giving you an answer how to grow from that trauma. It making you dwell in that drama, and just not see the growth that you're going through. Even you getting up through that trauma, getting up each day and trying to not remember that trauma, that's a win, but they don't teach you that. You know what I'm saying? They don't teach you that even in school, don't teach you that on TV, don't teach you that in music. Everything comes down to the frequency of you. I don't think people understand that, man. And it's sickening. It's really sickening when I seen that, bro. Like I seen people this, you know what I'm saying, being this man. It was just too crazy. And it's like, damn, I know y'all excited for the movie and shit. But y'all dancing in front of the big screen movie, and it's like, damn, like it just seemed awkward to me. I don't know. For me it just seemed awkward, you know. And that's what they want y'all to be. They want y'all to be emotional towards these characters, cause it's energy harvesting. It's energy harvesting, man. Like I said, I don't fuck with the movie. I don't fuck with that energy no more. I grew from that. I evolved from that. So, but I'm just trying to get people to know, what's going on, how they've been tricking us all these years, man. Salute to live and learn.
Her pain was the expression of what she was going through. That's why it went into instrumental. That's why.
Shout out to live and learn. I'm letting the world know about the inner child realizations when it comes to anything that was inspired to us as childs, and we grew to understand why we don't fuck with that no more. As far as like with celebrities, like TV shows, all that, we must detach from that because it brings a certain type of vulnerability that they energy harvest off of. Man, it's deep. So that's what we're talking about today, live and learn. And and we all talking about the Michael Jackson movie and Michael Jackson energy and how it got people in the chokehold and how everybody is just not seeing it for what it is. And I know everybody on the same frequency, but I'm just bringing you into my own perspective of what I feel it is and how I see things. Like I say early on, I was a big Michael Jackson supporter fan. I used to debate with people, almost get in arguments with people. But as you get older and as you research your own, you see that whole energy and that whole character wasn't really what it was. And I went down a rabbit hole as when he so called unalive in '09. I went down a rabbit hole, and it brought me to a point where I thought he was a good guy going against the elites. But no, he was just playing a role. For somebody to keep that fame and that fortune, they had to do things that was unimaginable. And that's how I feel, man. I just wish people understand that shit.
That's why I went on beat. She was a slave to the rhythm. That's why I can never misgender the truth. You choose to go against that truth because of what you were conditioned to thinking was Michael. And I'll just go through them as well. So Steel Mill.
And I know people don't like to hear that about Michael, but he's not the savior. He wasn't the innocent one. He was one of them boys, man. And y'all don't gotta like it, but that's how I feel, and that's what the research I came up to. That's the conclusion I came up to. He wasn't a good guy. He was one of them. Now people can do whatever they want, do their own research, and you find out the same conclusion I did. But he was one of them, and that shit is upsetting, bro, for real. Because you would think he'll be the most realest one, because he got a light voice and shit. That light voice wasn't even his real voice, man. Shit is crazy. They playing people as childs, bro. They killing our inner child. So when we come growing up as grown ups, we won't have a sense of knowing, bro. Shit crazy.
Booked a gig, reading Peter Pan after getting whipped, studying development, Regal Theater 1968. Joe was pimping them out just so he didn't have to work. Grown women preying on them. On stage to perform for the elite class with wealth and power. Motown agents want to offer a price towards God-given talent. The things he can do with that voice. 1969, Motown wrote a song for them, ABC. Gematria. Why did Motown produce and direct them to teaching the world gematria in the 60s? And 70s as well.
Exactly. That
Why?
song called ABC 123, that was a Gematria song. And it's crazy because he was like one of the first ones besides Elvis that everybody was, worshiping and don't see no flaws in. And I like I said, I have to attack this. I have to attack this topic because my inner child was so influenced by this. So, but I had to grow and evolve, and I have to challenge this as well as a grown man and see the realizations of it. It's sad for what they're doing us as kids. You know, they don't never teach the power from within. It always got us depending on something or using something as an image, as a Jesus figure or something to not see the power from within ourselves. And I'm champion for somebody who always see the power from within themselves. You don't gotta be rich or famous or have clout for that shit. This be you being you, man. And I just feel like it's just sad. And what I seen, the last couple of days with this movie, it really put the pinpoint on it, man. It's sickening. It's very sickening. And they brought this movie at the right time too, because everybody was about to move away from this so-called celebrity worship type shit, and it kind of making it lingering now with this movie, man. I don't like that shit, for real.
Why? Why did Motown do that? What was the reason for that? Who told Motown to give the Jackson 5 their own cartoon? What do you have to do to have your own cartoon as a child? And why is this child the lead singer? What does Payne have to say in that voice? If Michael, if she, mind you, the Jackson 5 were all sisters. And think about Janet and Latoya and the other Jacksons that Joseph Jackson's he had a secret family with. The moment Michael, when she would have the wrong tempo on a certain beat, a certain octave, or the wrong note in her vocal cords.
And the reason why he calling her she, because you know whatever entity he was attracted to within his soul, it made him go from a young black boy to looking like a white woman. You know what I'm saying? So that's why he said she, cause the entity that was inside him. It's crazy, man. This shit is deep, bro. Once you really understand this shit, it's deep.
Abuse. Why? Because Joseph, she knew what that was like in her family. So the bloodline, the curse, just it trickles down. And my thing is too, why are you naming a child Blanket? What's so comfortable about child abuse? Think about the symbolism in what Michael Jackson named her kids. Not only just that, how do you go from being my complexion to European? Motherfuckers will sit up here and say, vitiligo, you don't know about that. I suffer from that. That's what they are telling you to believe in. You never walked up to MJ and said, is that what vitiligo is like? You never seen that. They only taught you and told you what to see. Not only just that, majority of us were not born when this shit happened. You were introduced to Michael when the being was like in the late 40s and 50s when she died. So who though? She died to your perception, but yet through introspection, she's still living away from your awareness. Duh. That's why they become billionaires. Because they do the weird, sadistic, satanic shit to get them ownership and to get them to be the greatest idol of all time. What do you have to do to have your own cartoon as a child? Tell me. Because you don't just go to the entertainment industry and say, hey, I want to be a musician artist. Or I just want to be an artist in general. I don't want to be an entertainer. You don't just get hired for that. No. You have to go through some practices, some initiations. You have to go through some rituals. Hazing, if you will. This shit ain't no different from a college fraternity and sorority. These people are sick. So when Michael had these allegations, they ain't come from nowhere, my nigga. And what's even more fucked up, they didn't even tell you how the being was a hollow vessel the moment she got on stage for Motown. The moment she was trafficked to Gordy, Barry Gordy and whatever, that was it. The moment you see her on stage, it was over with. That was not her anymore. They took the purity of Michael, and I ain't even gonna say cloning because we don't believe in cloning. They replicated the consciousness, altered the voice with AI, and they basically displayed a hologram with light fixation and light codes and different chemicals mixed in the air to give you this aroma of a kid just dancing to the beat, singing to how she's feeling. That's why she wanted to bring escapism, joy, peace, and love to the world. But what kind of love is that when you're still going through abuse? She was a child going through stunted development in a grown-up's body. She
For some reason, my phone is freezing up. I mean, my thing is freezing up.
Michael, and I ain't even gonna say cloning because we don't believe in cloning. They replicated the consciousness, altered the voice with AI, and they basically displayed a hologram with light fixation and light codes and different chemicals mixed in the air to give you this aroma of a kid just dancing to the beat, singing to how she's feeling. That's why she wanted to bring escapism, joy, peace, and love to the world. But what kind of love is that when you're still going through abuse? She was a child going through stunted development in a grown-up's body. She never had.
Hold on, what's coming, y'all? But yeah, he basically breaking down, the history of Michael Jackson, bro. The real history, not the one that we've been learning all these years. This shit is deep. You know,
Had the time to process her childhood because it was taken from her. All to be staged as an actor.
come on, why did y'all doing this? That's how we know we breaking truth, bro. Because there's no way.
She was a child going through stunning development in a grown-up's body. She never had the time to process her childhood because it was taken from her. All to be staged as an actor. Excuse me. Gordy was telling her, keep your feet still, grooming him to get rid of his energy. His voice is trafficked because Payne has something to say. Hot 100 and ABC was #1, but what do you got to do to make the charts? Joseph trafficked the Jackson 5 so that he didn't have to work in the steel mill.
Yup.
Her, he,
There's no way this Wi-Fi is acting up, man. It's coming, y'all. But the thing about it is, he is talking about the trafficking.
the song Human Nature. If you listen to that song after this video, tell them that it's human nature. Why? Why do they do me that way? I like living this way. I like loving this way. What are you talking about? And then by her saying, or excuse me,
We're used to this matchup, the powerful versus the rest of us.
by her elongating the why, she's asking her ego, why does she love this way of living? Genetically engineering your child will bring you fame, success, being an icon, being loved, validated, getting whatever you want. But that comes with a price, that comes with a cost. You will never be able to transcend duality ever again. Because you will always think as if money matters. You will always think as if being iconic, being the greatest of all time matters.
Right.
Don't get me wrong, affirmations are the best. But when you go to these industries and you sell your morals with those people, those Europeans, they are basically showing you history repeats itself. The Korribans. The Korribans were also initiators for orgy
And that's
rituals.
why I say people always say, "Oh, Michael was doing affirmations," to say he was the greatest. Man, that is the most surface way to think about it. You know what I'm saying? Because you don't, like I said, you don't know what they did behind closed doors. That shit, the power of that is not the true power that a real so-called light beam or truther would even attach themselves to. You know what I'm saying? So let's think about it like this: if he was a light being or a truther like us, he wouldn't need the industry. He just have to do it, off the strength of grinding and the power of his truth. You know what I'm saying? So, but no, no.
Rituals, blood rituals. So when these higher ups were commanding these entities, these semi-divine beings, to dance for them for their amusement, they also had children involved, pentagrams involved. They have all these cannibalistic practices going on. The same shit happened with human nature. When she was singing that song, she's basically singing to Satanists, telling you, like, she's basically saying thank you. I don't know why they do me this way, but I like living this way. I like loving this way. She likes to love on children to where she slept in bed with children. Parents were okay with trafficking their children to Michael Jackson's estate or Neverland. Symbolism from Neverland. Peter Pan. Peter Pan and the Lost Boys. People don't know the inversion on Peter Pan. Peter Pan's story was told to impressionable minds. Peter Pan is Captain Hook. Captain Hook is Peter Pan. What do I mean? Captain Hook is the hero. Peter Pan is the villain. Peter Pan trafficked Captain Hook and his entourage. But people don't know that Captain Hook was always waiting for Peter Pan to come to this figment of the lost children's imagination. When Peter Pan would get these children to fight Captain Hook, what was that for? For her protection. That's why Tinkerbell was just a medium who would not say shit. But if you study the awareness of her being, she's basically the devil on your right and left shoulder in one form, in one source, in one entity. That's exactly why that light going out and all that other shit when it came down to Peter Pan and Captain Hook capturing the fairy. It's just like all this shit is about revenge. It's all about the clashing of duality, cognitive dissonance, or ego identity and protection. So when Captain Hook seen Peter Pan, it was on sight immediately because you know what you did to me and my entourage, so we got to get our get back. That's why it's basically trafficked children fighting trafficked children. 1971, store and take pictures of me. I'm not like the other kid, or they stare and take pictures of me. I'm not like other kids. Let your light shine. 1978, Los Angeles, Kiss the Llama. Affirmations, you are the greatest of all time. Neverland symbols, pirates, lost boys, Peter Pan and his shadow. My nose was too big, I had to be perfect. Joseph didn't have anything to say to him about the nose job. Michael wanted to reinvent himself to the European family and satisfy their ideologies on his character. Capitalize on Michael's album. Joseph exploiting Michael, right or wrong. He wanted his freedom, but he said it's not easy. He said it's not that easy because she or he wasn't ready. 1981, the biggest star in the world, fired his dad, and Joseph still wants to whip him like he used to. You can't whip nobody no more, and he said everything he's done was for his family. He had no one besides animals and music. You got a lot to learn about family. He was always talking to his inner child. So when Michael was singing, Michael was literally talking to your inner child about the abuse that you are still unconscious to till this day.
Now that's why I name it Inner Child Realizations, because it all intertwines with this so-called movie that came out, and the whole entity of what MJ was and how the energy and frequencies align with people like us, especially the kids. Shit is deep, man. Like, once you see that shit for what it is, you will understand why he became big. You know what I'm saying? He, like, bro, I don't think no other artist was able to tap into that child like energy like he did, and that's was the key the whole time. The children is the power. The children is the power, man. Say the kids, man, because they'll be growing up and they're gonna be realizing that they was played the whole time. So that makes you think: was Mike really that good of a person outside of music? But do that matter? Yes, because the frequencies, you don't know what's behind them frequencies, making you feel so bad, but making you feel happy for the songs and him. Energy harvesting, man.
Joseph Jackson trafficked Michael, and they didn't show this shit in the biopic as well. Joseph Jackson was her mom, trafficked her to these CEOs that also wanted Michael when she got older. That's why Michael was able to have power over these corporations and part ownership of Sony. How is that possible? How do you own the Beatles catalog? How do you do that? So when she was a child, I'm gonna ask you again, how do you get to the top charts, Hot 100, and how do you stay there? Joseph was okay with Michael meeting with these label executives and these Hollywood stories, P. Diddy, these bodyguards, they're not telling you shit for no reason. These, what was the name? Harvey Weinstein. There are many others as well who are like P. Diddy and Harvey Weinstein. But when Michael was a child, Michael was in those studios, in those offices, taken advantage of, basically. I'm going to basically use PG usage or terminology because it's too brutal to really conceptualize. And then when Joseph was done with the brutality, imagine Michael crying, Joseph saying, wipe those tears from your face, we got work to do. It's all about business, it's all about family. You'll understand when you get older on why you're the greatest pop star or superstar of all time. But Michael at that point didn't care about that shit. She was just a child, playing as a boy. Didn't even have a chance. So imagine you're getting butt broken as a child. You don't know why, but there's a reason why you're saving your energy, and there's a reason why you're in the closet. You're a closeted, you know what. So there's a reason why all these allegations to me now make more and more sense. And it's just like, too, the dancing. That's what happens when you become loose. When they start taking your booty and they start triggering different endorphins and dopamine receptors and all this shit to rewire your mind, to activate your pineal gland to make you become more aware of the satanic abuse. That's why she was dancing on stage, holding her crotch and shit, moving and gliding through air and shit. That's literally what happens when you get your butt taken from you. These beings collectively groomed her, and Joseph was okay with that. And Joseph also did it as well. And Joseph let grown women in the crowd do it to them backstage. And the brothers or the siblings didn't do shit but keep quiet because Michael was the money maker. You better not say shit, because why? They all signed that fucking contract in blood. Well, really, Joseph did in blood. And then imagine Michael coming home. Your butt, your dignity, your morality has been taken from you. And you're told to rehearse. We have a song to play. Let's get to it. You missed one wrong step. All right, you know what? You think I'm fucking playing with you. Imagine that. Just imagine. You can't. You're not supposed to. But yet you feel some kind of way about that shit. Why? Why? When these stories are what you go through today. So who's really the man in the mirror when it's always going to be you? Human Nature was not a song made for no reason. Every song was handled by ghostwriters, handled by industry plants, literally, to let you know about your nature. Like, if you really sit down and study the lyricism, this shit's fucked up. That shit can make you shed a tear. Because humans still consent to child trafficking. Why do we have to sit up here and be content creators, be entrepreneurs, be athletes, be stars, just to be accepted in our families, just to have some fucking money, just to have financial freedom, just to have mental stability, just to have confidence, just to be loved? Why do we have to sell our morals to be loved by the people that we care about? Man, I'm not in this video right now, bro. Because people don't know. This shit's so fucked up. They named your trauma Michael Jackson, and you still gonna pay for it. I did as well. And don't get me wrong. Me and my sibling, our inner childs love Michael Jackson. I mean, watching the music video, studying it, and the work ethic, and adopting those practices, that shit hurts. As I become more and more aware and I do my research on why this shit's going on. Thanks to genetic engineers for all this stupidity that's being played to our society. Okay, mysterious channeling. Music is a universal language and we can change that together. So Luciferianism is a universal language and we can change that together. How? By being asleep to it? Like, her whole entire life was duality. Look at her outfits. Look at the album cover with, I'm about to show you real quick. Because the album cover with, what? Hold on. I'm about to show you. Let's see here. And if you made it this far as well, thank you for subscribing. Okay, I don't know if y'all can see that, but I'm about to show you anyway. So, this right here. Now, this is I think a director or performer of some circus. But if you study the symbolism, all this shit is Saturnian worship. Right or wrong. And I already made a video on that as well. You already seen it in the beginning of this video. So, I mean, just letting you know that universal language, her linguistic sorcery is duality. It's literally Freemasonic. So you cannot trust what she is telling you. She's only telling you what the scriptures needed her to act like. Get her music videos on MTV, Masonic television. They never played black artists, white and black. Walter was going to put CBS artists in the trash. 1983, 25 million copies. Life or Death with Joseph and expecting Michael to save his ass. Pepsi commercial was an excuse to turn him European. Worried if MJ would perform again and didn't care about his well-being. Bill, Bodyguard. If he doesn't go on tour, then deals and sponsorships will go out the window. God's been good to me. 1984 Victory Tour, Masonic Colorways. 1988, his story continues means it never started or ended. And I want to go ahead and get a smoothie as well, so I'm in this video. But I want you all to know, if you go and watch this recent biopic in theaters, I will say the acting was phenomenal. But the build-up of Michael's life was way too fast. You didn't have time to dissect what's really going on. You didn't learn the genius behind the mindset and how she would get up at 2 or 3 a.m., something that you and I do, and she would just be in the studio just recording till the sun came up and shit like that. But they didn't talk about just so much shit on how the abuse was allowed for so long. They didn't really let you sit there and digest all the things that the legacy conspired itself into being displayed like, according to Jewish narratives. And the thing is too, what I realized was, the moment you do start questioning what you're being fed and what you're being told is the moment that you'll stop idolizing these characters or these hopes, because these people are simply meant to keep you stuck in a lower form of never being aware. That's why intuitively the biopic makes no sense, because if you're going to make sense of this shit, explain to humans why Human Nature was a song that pedophiles used to groom children and to sacrifice their bodies and transfer their consciousness into their purity and take their innocence from them just for money. But people don't want to hear that shit because it's MJ. Pathetic. Prosperous awakening, divine arising, and thriving energy to any being that watches mindful message with an open mind. I love you all. Thank you for liking this video, subscribing. Thank you to the new people who subscribe as well. I appreciate you. And back to reality I go.
Yeah, so her name was Darius Harrison. So yeah, that's basically what the bread and butter frequency talk was today. But like I say, man, they played with us, bro, and they gonna keep doing it till everybody find out what's going on. But yeah, so I didn't see the Michael Jackson movie. I literally cut this man music off about, like, when I really started tapping into my greatness, my essence. I wasn't listening to people the same no more, because I know who I am now, and I don't have to look towards anybody outside myself to know how great I am, and it's not about fame, it's not about clout, it's about you and your frequency. Trust you, know your frequency, and know that you are great no matter what they try to put out as characters or as somebody, they're going to try to put, imitations or false light people in the forefront to make you seem like they're on our side, but they're not. Every artist, every celebrity, anybody in entertainment, politics, government, all that, they're on the same team, man. And if you can't get to the grips of that yet, one day you will, and you will see what I'm talking about. But like I say, this hurt my inner child to really dive deep and understand that, MJ was one of them, and it took me to fully understand that. It took me to about 32, 33 to really see it. So as the man today, like I said, I can only trust my frequency, my truth, and me, and my greatness and my essence, and never look outside myself ever again, man. I share abundance to everybody, man. I love y'all, and yeah. So make sure y'all believe in yourself, know yourself, not believe, know yourself, trust yourself, and just be you. I'm out. I share abundance to everybody.